Here's kind of a nice story, huh? We got a Miss Canada Universe or Miss Universe Canada pageant coming up. This is next month, by the way. Now, typically, up until now, it's been a matter of women between the ages of 18 and 28. There has been an age restriction. But this time, for the first time in 72 years, Miss Universe has lifted that restriction. And our next guest is going to be taking advantage of it and competing in this year's pageant. Lorraine Peters is on the line. She's from Rothsay, New Brunswick. First of all, thank you for being here this afternoon.
Hi, Aaron. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. So I'm guessing you're getting a lot of attention out in Rothsay, New Brunswick.
And ironically, most of the attention is coming from far away.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
A lot of interviews in Ontario, of course, Toronto Star, et cetera, and you folks. So this is great.
So let me tell people, first of all, let's bring people up to date. When I said the age restriction was lifted at 28, it's not because you're 30 years old. You're about to turn 59. Is that right?
That's right. Like a few hours after the finals on July 27th, I will turn 59.
Now, people may wonder, what is a 59? Not that there's anything wrong with it, but what would compel a 58-year-old woman to decide to get involved in the Miss Universe pageant? So give people the history, because this is not your first pageant.
No, so that's a valid question. So I started doing pageants when I was 15, and did one at age 15 and 19 because I had went away to pursue modeling, and sometimes those kind of go hand in hand. And then I took a long hiatus, life happened, family, etc. And I jumped back into pageants in my early 40s, and it's kind of been full steam ahead since then. And I had always, dreamed isn't even the right word, Aaron. Like I always kind of had this knowing in my gut that I was going to reach a high level, like I was going to do something meaningful in either pageants or modeling. I just didn't know what. And last year, like everybody else, when I was watching Miss Universe and they announced that they were dropping all upper age requirements, I was like, this is it.
Although I'm pretty sure people, when they thought they were dropping age requirements, meant people in their 30s, perhaps not people in their 50s.
No doubt.
So
nonetheless.
What, I mean, first of all, you have family. Did you discuss this idea? I mean, hey, I'm thinking of getting involved. What do you guys think?
Yeah, so, I told my family, I said, because it's not an easy process. I mean, not everybody who applies gets selected. There is a selection process. So in December of 2023, I started off with filling out the application online, like you have to do, and upload photos and answer questions about your pageant history and your interests and so on and so forth. So a lengthy intake form with photos and your measurements and all that stuff. And that was the first round. I got through that. And then just before Christmas, I had to do an interview, and I felt like I did really good in that. So January 2nd, I found out that, in fact, I was selected as one of the, I think, 64 delegates from across the country.
So just as an aside, it's interesting, if you've been involved in pageantry your whole life, and now at 58, you're getting involved in this one. Yeah, you have to go through the process all over again, right? Applying, getting to the next round. What's that questionnaire like? The one that you just answered that they said, okay, this is good, and move on. What kind of stuff are they asking you?
So the initial intake form, they're asking, what are your special interests? What are your hobbies? What are Miss Universe Canada is very philanthropic as an organization. They support, I think, over 100 registered charities throughout Canada. So they're really big on what does your philanthropy look like? What does your community service, or how do you give back? What does that look like? What do you do in your spare time? Questions around, again, what is your pageant history? What's your experience? And then of course, all of the standard questions, your age, your height, uploading a headshot and full body, that kind of thing.
So I'm wondering too, when it was discovered or when it was announced, I guess, that you were going to do this, I'm just kind of wondering what reaction was to you deciding to do this. What did you start seeing in social media, for example?
Well, I've known since January 2nd, but I wasn't allowed to announce it, of course, until they had chosen all the delegates to represent across Canada. So that was about, mid-May. And it started right away, with, CTV locally picking it up and CBC locally, and then that spread to, Toronto, so the national channels and the radio outlets and different, publications that have, like a female slant to it. So I've gotten an incredible amount of attention, which is amazing, not just for me, but for what I'm trying to do. This is bigger than just that week of Miss Universe Canada, because my whole career has been working with girls and women to help them build self-confidence, because you can't do anything in life without confidence. This is the thing. It's the underpinning to everything a person will or will not do in their life. And so I've been extremely engaged and passionate about the topic of confidence my whole life, because my background is modeling. I was a professional model, and that industry is built on girls having and being able to showcase this incredible sense of confidence. And so how you go about building that is something that I've been teaching since I was 20 years old.
I wonder, too, because, I kind of have to ask the question, beauty pageants overall have a little bit of negative sort of reaction to them these days. Did you encounter any of that from people? Did you start to see people saying, what are you doing? Why are you promoting this? I know you've done it your whole life, but is this really the best way to empower women?
No, I haven't. And I'm really moving forward with the intention that I'm going to only receive positivity around this, which so far has been the case. I'm getting DMs and emails every day now from women across the country. One yesterday, she said, I'm 55. I decided to go back to nursing school and get my degree. And she said, almost daily, I'm asked, why are you doing this at your age? And here's the thing. This is what I'm on a mission to do. Because older women are viewed very negatively in society, and that has dangerous implications to how women are treated going forward. And here's my message. Age doesn't matter. What matters is how much energy do you have? What's your health status? How much vitality and passion and enthusiasm and excitement do you have for what you're looking at doing? That's what matters. Age doesn't matter. You can be looking at somebody who's 20 and in the prime of their life, and if they're afflicted with, a life-threatening illness, then what is having age on their side doing for them? Nothing. So the same can be said for me approaching 60. I am so in love with the life that I live every day that I sleep fast so I can wake up and do it again. That's what matters.
That's quite a positive message. At the end of the day, this sounds like it's not even about winning or anything for you. It's about representing here more than anything else.
Yeah, I'm going there to win. I am training to win. I'm going there to win. But I'm also, once I step foot in that host hotel, I'm also there to be with the other women and to observe and watch and make new friends. I'm there to just let loose and be myself. But I am definitely there for a broader message. Back to your point, I do think that pageantry, if it's going to survive, needs a bit of an overhaul. And, the fact that they are bringing down a lot of these barriers, age, I think, being one of the biggest ones, I think this is an opportunity for me to have a real role in shaping the future. We're making progressive changes here. The fact that those judges will never have seen someone who looks like me before. We're at this crossroads where it's challenging them, too, to say, okay, are we going to go with the status quo, or are we going to, embrace this possibility that this could actually be better?
Well, good for you. It's quite the message. Listen, I wish you nothing but the best and good luck. Have fun. I hope you win, but I think you've already won in just getting that message across. So thanks so much for being with us, Lorraine. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Aaron.
You bet.
Bye, Montreal.
Lorraine Peters out in New Brunswick, oldest ever competitor in a Miss Universe contest. She's turning 59 years old by the time the contest ends in July. You can check her out.